Hi, I'm Shannon, and if you're new here, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones. Today, I wanted to share with you about our Azure Standard order. So I just picked up a bunch of groceries from Azure Standard, and I order from them once a month. This is our 3rd month ordering from them, and I'm a huge fan. So I just wanted to share with you what we got and also 5 big changes that my family has made in just how we're eating and sourcing our staple foods in our diet, and just some big health benefits from those things. So I am excited to share those with you as I show you what we got from Azure this month. So the first thing that we got from them is lots of cheese. So this is, I'll show you, I got a bunch of them, but this is the raw goat milk cheese I like to get from there. They have this big block of it. Right now, I'm liking the little ones because we don't go through it super fast yet. I don't have a humongous family, and I don't want it to go bad, and I'm not sure exactly how long it would last with that big block, but I have seen other people, especially with bigger families, like that. It's a way to save some money while still buying raw cheese. So I get raw goat's milk cheese, and I also just get raw cheddar cheese because my kids like both of them, and I like having both. So I got a bunch of the raw cheddar. It is so much cheaper to get this kind of cheese from Azure Standard as opposed to like Whole Foods or something. So much cheaper. So this is the only kind of cheese we eat now. I do not buy the pasteurized cheese anymore, just buy the raw cheese. So that leads me into the first big diet change that my family has made that I know is just extremely beneficial to our health. And that is raw milk and raw cheese, like I just said. So here's a jug of the raw milk I just got from a local farm here. So this is actually raw goat's milk. And I get raw goat's milk because it's easier to digest. It's just extremely nutritious. So if you know anything about raw milk is not pasteurized. There's some debate about it. I'm very comfortable drinking it. I give it to my family. I'm very comfortable. I have a lot of friends who drink it. I think it's extremely nutritious. If you do a little research on it, I think you'll find the same, but you should do your own research if you're not sure. But anyway, I like the raw milk and the raw milk cheese, especially goat cheese. The next thing I got from Azure Standard is a bunch of frozen berries. So these are frozen strawberry pieces, frozen blueberries, and they're defrosting, so they're back in the freezer soon, and frozen raspberries. So one thing I want to talk to you about with these is how we make smoothies. And we make smoothies using milk kefir, which I make from the raw milk I just showed you. So again, raw goat's milk, I make kefir. I have some fermenting right now. So the way you make kefir, or kefir, I think you can say either way, is you use kefir grains, and I got kefir grains from the same person I get my raw milk from. And you basically, it's so easy. You just put like a couple tablespoons of the grains with a quart or so of the raw milk, like you can see here, and then you just let it sit with like a coffee filter on it or something on it that's not like airtight, and you just let it sit out in room temperature. I usually let mine sit out for 48 hours. I like it extra sour, but basically what happens is it turns into like a yogurt. It's a little bit runnier than yogurt, and it's sour. I love it. If you haven't gotten used to or kind of introduced to that real sour taste, like from sauerkraut or kefir, it's amazing. And once you get used to it, I mean, I'm like addicted to the taste. I get really sad if I don't have kefir each day. So this is actually like a natural antibiotic. It's extremely nutritious. I've listened to multiple people recently who talk about, or multiple health experts who talk about, this is something they would not go a day without. It's so good for you. So many probiotic strains, more so than yogurt. Yogurt's great too, but this has even more probiotics, and it's different than yogurt. So it's just really, really good for you, and so much more nutritious if you do it from raw milk. Again, if you can't get raw milk, you can definitely buy kefir at the store. I think I've seen goat's milk kefir. This is goat's milk kefir since we have raw goat's milk that we make it from, but it's so good for you. So I would definitely at least buy it from the store if you haven't. Give it a try, especially if you have any kind of gut issue problems. So I definitely do. So I'm always looking for ways to like just help my digestion, and this kefir definitely has already. So I make smoothies with it, with the kefir and the frozen fruit. And I was getting a bag of the frozen fruit from Whole Foods, and it just gets expensive. So I was excited to be able to get all these frozen berries, and now I can just like make bags and, you know, mix some strawberries and raspberries and blueberries together. And then I have plenty to make smoothies for a week or two, and then I'll just refill the bag when they run out. So in the smoothie, I put some frozen fruit, basically about half a cup of frozen fruit. I put about a cup of the kefir, and then I put a little bit of liquid stevia in because that's so much better than sugar. Or you could put honey. And then I usually put like a quarter of a frozen banana, and I just blend it, and they're so good. I have one like every morning around 10:30 for kind of a snack. It's one of my favorite things I have each day. And kefir also, like, it kind of gets rid of your sweet tooth, I've noticed. I have a huge sweet tooth, and I can replace, like, craving sugar. I can replace that with just having some kefir, and it makes that satisfied. So, and it's a lot better for you. Okay, the next thing I got from Azure Standard is some beef hot dogs, and I'm showing you guys this because I got several more packets, but I'm letting them defrost for having them for dinner tonight. I wanted to just bring up meat and where we now get our meat. So I used to just get meat in general from the grocery store, like a lot of people, I think. And then I've learned more about just how not good for you it is, some of where our meat comes from, and how important it is that it's grass-fed and that the animals are treated well and they're not given a bunch of hormones and antibiotics and things like that. So we have found a local farm about an hour away from us that we get meat. They actually just delivered some today, which was exciting. They actually deliver it to our door, which is incredible. But I know that they're out there. If you do a little digging to find some farms, they don't have hot dogs specifically, and Azure Standard did, so I got some hot dogs from them. But you can see that these are grass-fed, organic, so good quality meat. But I have learned a lot just about how impactful it is, just what kind of meat we're eating and what we're getting when we eat the meat. Are we getting a bunch of antibiotics and hormones? I was reading more about how the animals in a lot of places that are just like manufacturing this meat and just trying to make as much money as possible. The animals are in a horrible environment. They get sick a lot because of that environment. They're not able to just like roam around the pasture freely like they should be able to. And because they're getting sick all the time, they are pumped antibiotics and hormones. And so that is part of the issue. And then obviously antibiotics are not good for us. So if we're eating our meat and it's in our meat, not good. So I think I've kind of decided for our family, like the staple foods that we eat, like meat, eggs, milk, grains, I'm going to talk about in a minute, that we eat on a daily basis. I want to make sure I'm sourcing them from the best places possible so that we're getting the most quality foods of those staple foods that we can. Just because I do think that what we eat makes a huge difference in our health and just our mental state, all kinds of things. So next I want to show you, I got this big bag of einkorn flour. This is all-purpose einkorn from Azure Standard. I just found out that they have this. This is about a 10-pound bag. So I was getting these little bags of it from Thrive Market, which is great too. But I use this for my sourdough starter. I also have wheat berries, which I'll show you in a minute, but I like to have just this all-purpose flour for my sourdough starter. And I like that it's einkorn because einkorn is just more nutritious. It's an ancient grain. It's easier to digest. And like I said before, I'm kind of looking for anything to help my digestion because I have some digestive digestive issues. So I kind of need all the help I can get. So I wanted to show you the other thing that's been a huge change for the good for us is making sourdough. So this is my sourdough starter, and I was super intimidated to make a sourdough starter the first time. I just thought it would be super hard, and it totally wasn't. It took some patience, but I did follow the instructions of Farmhouse on Boone. If you know her channel, if you haven't, you should check her out. She's awesome. But I followed her instructions on how to make an einkorn sourdough starter, and it took a couple weeks to kind of get strong enough to make bread with. But now I make bread all the time. My husband and I eat the sourdough bread daily, and sourdough bread is so good for you. First of all, making your own bread is so much better than buying bread from the store. If you've ever looked at the ingredients of bread you buy from the store, there's like so many things. I don't even know what they are. Sourdough bread is literally sourdough starter, which sourdough starter is literally flour and water. That's it. So you've got sourdough starter, you've got salt and water and the flour. That's all that sourdough is. So how many ingredients was that? I mean, does water even count? You've got flour, sourdough starter, salt, and water. If you count that, that's 4 ingredients to make a loaf of amazing bread. So for one, it's a lot better for you because it doesn't have all those added ingredients that I don't know what most of them are. Also, because it's fermented and it doesn't have the classic yeast in it, it has a lower gluten content, which makes it easier to digest. So I personally, if I have just normal bread, I do not feel good, but sourdough bread doesn't bother me at all, even if it's like with normal wheat berries or normal flour. It doesn't have to be gluten-free, but still because it's sourdough, it's easier to digest. The fermentation process decreases the level of phytic acid, which again, just makes it easier to digest, and it makes you able to get the nutrients from it easier. Okay, the next thing that I got is this huge bag. It's upside down right now, but it's really heavy. I'm not going to turn it around. Huge bag of hard white wheat berries. So very heavy. It was a 50-pound bag, but we are going through them really quickly. I think I got a 25-pound bag first, and we realized we would go through these fast because I make bread for my family now. I don't just make sourdough bread. I make normal bread too with yeast. My kids like that better than the sourdough right now. So my husband and I eat the sourdough. I make normal bread for my kids, but I make the normal bread with the wheat berries, and I use hard white wheat. I also use spelt. I have some spelt wheat berries. I have einkorn wheat berries, and I also have soft white wheat. So the soft white I use for muffins and things like that. So I have not bought a loaf of bread from the store for months, and it makes me so happy because I know that it's so much more nutritious. And bread is a staple food, right? That my kids eat every single day, multiple times per day. So it's a really big deal for me as their mom to try to give them the most nutritious kind of bread that's possible. So if you don't know much about milling your own wheat berries, look into it because it's changed our life and I love it. So I've got a mock mill Lino 100, I believe. And you can see here our mill and the different kinds of wheat berries I have next to it. So we use it on a daily basis. My husband will often make cream of wheat in the morning and mill the berries to make that. I make bread for my family once every 1 or 2 weeks. Sometimes I make like a bulk amount every just couple weeks. So I usually use hard white wheat for that and mix in some spelt or einkorn for that ancient grain twist. But I love making that, and it's just so much better for you. Okay, a couple other things I got that I want to share with you are I got this avocado oil. I got several of these, 3 of these, I believe. And so I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably know that a lot of the oil that we've used in the past is not good, seed oil. But but this avocado oil is good quality, and I like to have this kind of oil for salad dressings and just some other things that aren't like super high heat. I also use coconut oil and tallow and just grass-fed butter as well, but you should not use vegetable oil, canola oil. I'm sure you know that. Not good. So I also got laundry detergent. So I'm excited to be using their laundry detergent. I also got baking soda from them. I got baking powder last time. And I also got some essential oils. So I am new to the essential oil club, but I'm excited to find some new ways to use these to make cleaning products. So that's going to be kind of a new thing for me, but I'm excited to try that. So that is what we got from Azure Standard this time. I hope that is helpful to you to kind of see. I know before we did our first Azure Standard purchase, I watched some videos to see what other people got, which was really helpful to get ideas. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope it was helpful to hear just some healthier choices that we can make with our staple foods. So if you're enjoying my videos, please subscribe. I am posting 2 videos each week related to homeschooling, family parenting tips, and health-related things. So please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a wonderful day.